Hey guys, welcome back to my craft room. So, I know I don't do a lot of these videos, but it seems like you guys have quite the interest in them. And because I am constantly doing things like this anyway, I thought why not film it for you guys and kind of show exactly what I'm doing to make them turn out the way that they do. Just kind of like a process video. Now this one was it was interesting because I wanted to work within the parameters of what I had on hand, which is actually what I do a lot of the time for any kind of terrain or miniature, or if somebody gives me something that they specifically want made into something. I know I'm being very vague. But kind of like the foam board, or the plastic core or whatever from the dice tower. But this stuff I had on hand. I wanted to make it within, 2 hours, which is why I ended up speeding it up, because it ended up taking me quite a while. But it also is because it was painting and whatnot. So this is a very dangerous product or project, but it's pretty fast for a miniature, I think, and it can also be less dangerous if you use other products. Okay, so I'm going to get into what products I actually used. Now these wood rectangle pieces are from Hobby Lobby. They're just in the wooden section. I don't remember the dimensions of them, but I ended up cutting them down anyway. But this will be kind of a project of what size do you need it to be, because the cart ultimately could be smaller or could be larger depending on what kind of project you're going to put it into. Now mine is actually going to be used with my character, my little miniature from a Pathfinder game, but it can also be used, for just props. It can be used for a fairy garden. It could be used for a dollhouse. It kind of is a all useful project because of what it is. So it's just a wooden cart, and I made it just out of the wooden rectangles, and I also have some wooden sticks. I was going to use toothpicks and bamboo sticks, but I ended up finding some wooden sticks at Hobby Lobby for pretty cheap, so I ended up getting those. And then I also found some wheels, because I was like, how in the world am I going to make a wheel out of just sticks? And that was a challenge that, I think I could just go ahead and buy the wheels. It's not gonna, you know, cost me an arm and a leg just to buy some wheels. And then you could also use some other, professional tools, but I just used some box cutters. That sounds so bad, but that's what I used, and it ended up working out really nicely. I just kind of cut I know there's like a term for it, but I just cut until there was enough of a leeway where I could just snap the wood in half. And it worked awesome. I love... Sorry, guys. Guess I should have drank some water before I started. Or I'm just too excited about this project because it's awesome. And it goes so well with my character. I'm a dwarf who likes to hoard things. Just random things, okay? Like, normally, dwarves are like, we hoard gold and beer. But I hoard, like, sawdust and silk. And I have a cart that I have all of my stuff in, and it's pulled by a bear, because I ride a bear. So he pulls my cart for me, and it's kind of like my traveling home, because in our Pathfinder game, we we're on a we just went into going on sea, so we have a ship. And I was like, okay, I need something to travel because I'm a dwarf. I'm not gonna like the sea. Okay. So so I just made my little cart, and I took a carpentry class, whatever, for in Pathfinder. Just kind of got my skill level up. And I built myself a little planter and put some soil in it. Just so you know, while I'm on the ocean in our boat, I'm not gonna be, too seasick into that doesn't make sense, but I wouldn't be affected by seasickness that much. And then also for my bear, because bears are not generally on the ocean. Alright, so now I'm kinda went on my own little whirlwind of my character, just because she's so cool. But anyways, the I just made the rectangles big enough to fit the one size of the rectangle. And then I just kind of built around it. And then there were some gaps because I wanted to put one side on top of the bottom base, and then the other ones to the side. So I took some of those sticks, which I had a ton of. I think there's like 500 in the bag. But I just put that in there to fill the gaps. And it ended up working out really nicely because then I could add another stick and put my wheels on it. I was going to do 2 wheels, but then I decided that it would probably be more likely that the cart would be kind of like you would lift it up and then pull, because it has the little nubs on the bottom, the little legs. I think that would be that's more common in a fairy garden. A game based in medieval times just seemed a little more appropriate rather than just 2 sets of legs or 2 sets of wheels. That one kind of looked like the derby cars. I think there's another race derby, or I don't know, the Boy Scouts used to do it all the time. Which actually, fun fact, I won one of them. I did a alien derby race car. It was pretty cool. I wonder if I could find a picture of it. That would be pretty cool. I probably can't, but anyway. So this is how I made what my bear would be attached to if I was attaching him. Like if he had what's the word I'm looking for? A lead? I think that's the right word. And then my little nub legs so that it could, kind of slant and then still be holding all of my things inside without spilling. I did make it big enough so that my bear and my figure could fit, because people tend to like to ride in my cart. So I wanted it big enough to hold my things and a person, or just my bear, which he probably would not be in it, but just for the sake of the game, I kind of wanted it to be the same size as my bear, which is kind of how I came to the measurements. So if you need it smaller, make it smaller. If you need it larger, make it larger. Well, I don't know how well it'll be with making it larger, since my base is, the whole rectangle. They have bigger rectangles at Hobby Lobby, so. Or if you wanted to cut your own pieces, that would be awesome too. So now we move on to the painting. Now I am a big believer in acrylic paints, just craft paints for miniatures and terrain. I know that I shouldn't be, because my family owns a shop and they're like, sell paints, but I'm a big believer in the craft paints. They're gonna disown me. But I wanted a brownish gray, and I didn't have too much brown left, which was very sad. But I think it turned out a good color because I ended up going with a very rich brown and then going on top again with the gray, and then also kind of lightening it and whatnot. Also, a good tip, if you want to have your cart done quick, which I did, and have it easier to hold, like you're not holding it in certain spots for 2 minutes, then use the hot glue gun. If you need the security of having it really held together really well, use E6000. Wait for it to dry overnight. You know, try to find some way to have it working like that. I don't know. Have it kind of pushed together. I think as long as you hold it there for, I think, 10 minutes, it'll cure enough that it should be fine, and then you can have it dry overnight and it should be sturdy. With some of my parts, I did have to go in with E6000 again over the hot glue, but I think the hot glue worked really well and it kind of helped hold the pieces together while that E6000 dried. So I kind of use a combination, more hot glue, but you know, kind of use what you think. If you're going to be throwing it around in a box, then use E6000. So I did try to do some detailing. It didn't quite work, so I went ahead and just painted it over it because I didn't like how it looked. And then I let it dry. You could use a heat gun, which I normally do for my things. I don't know if E6000 is okay with a heat gun. I don't remember. I mean, I think it did really well, so I wouldn't worry too much. But if you're really worried, just let it sit overnight or until it's dry. It doesn't take too long. And then if you are going to have it in a case with all your other miniatures and stuff, make sure to go ahead and coat it with either a matte or a gloss. I use the spray paint, just sealer. If you have Mod Podge would probably work. Other liquid sealers would probably work. I'm just a big fan of the spray it and you're done for my miniatures and my terrain. So that's my cart. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it kind of was a nice tutorial of, or a process video of how I've done it. And I hope you guys like this video. I hope you're having a crazy day. Good crazy, not bad crazy. See you later.